I killed my brother on Christmas Eve. Not with a gun or a knife. Nothing so clean and cinematic, but with a single email attachment that unraveled his empire like a gutted fish flopping on the dock. It was the kind of death that leaves you breathing, but hollowed out, staring at the ruins of your life while the world spins on, indifferent as a Chicago winter gale. And as his screams echoed through the family group chat, digital howls of denial and rage, I felt nothing but the cold satisfaction of a debt finally called in. You think that's shocking? Wait until you hear why. It started 3 weeks before. In the dim glow of my laptop screen in a dingy motel off I-90, the kind of place where the walls are thin enough to hear the hookers negotiating rates next door. I'd been ghosting my family for 6 months, ever since the intervention they threw for me at Thanksgiving. You know the type, passive-aggressive casseroles laced with judgment, Aunt Karen's Bible verses about redemption, and my brother Ethan, golden boy Ethan, leaning in with that fake concerned squint, whispering, "We're just worried about you, Jake." The drinking, the paranoia. Let us help. Help. Right. As if they hadn't been the ones shoving me under the bus since we were kids. But that night in the motel, nursing a flask of bottom-shelf bourbon that tasted like regret, I decided to hack into the family cloud drive. Not out of spite, at first. Just curiosity. The itch of a man who'd lost everything, wondering what fresh lies they'd spun in his absence. What I found wasn't lies. It was a goddamn blueprint for betrayal. The folder was buried deep. Family matters private. Password protected. But Ethan's a predictable prick. Used our childhood dog's name. Mux. The one he drowned in the lake when we were 12 because it bit him during one of his tantrums. Inside, minutes from a Zoom call dated November 15th. Participants: Mom, Dad, Ethan, my sisters Claire and Mia, even Uncle Ray from down in Florida. The transcript read like a mafia sit-down. All coded language and veiled threats. "Jake's spiraling," Ethan said, his voice tinny through the speakers in my headphones. "We can't let him drag us down. Christmas is our chance to intervene properly. Stage it right. Get him to admit he's the problem. Record it. Maybe get a psych hold if he flips." Mom chimed in, her southern drawl sharpened to a knife edge. "He's always been unstable. Ever since the accident. We protected him then. Now it's time he owns it." Protected me? That word hit like a sucker punch to the solar plexus. The accident. 20 years ago, when I was 16 and Ethan was 18, fresh out of juvie for boosting cars in the suburbs of Detroit. He'd crashed Dad's Cadillac into a guardrail on M10, high as a kite on whatever pills he could score from the corner boys. 2 people died, a mother and her kid, coming home from choir practice. Ethan walked because I lied. I said I was driving. Took the statutory rap. The juvie time. The family shame. Forged the confession. Burned the evidence of his prints. All to keep the golden child from rotting in a cell. And what did I get? A pat on the back from Dad. You're the strong one, son. And a lifetime of them whispering behind my back that I was the screw-up. But they didn't stop there. Ethan's intervention wasn't therapy. It was a trap. They planned to corner me at Christmas dinner in the old family manse outside Ann Arbor, granite countertops. Twinkling lights on the Fraser fur. The works. Claire would accidentally spill my old juvie records on the table. Digitized and damning. Mia, the actress, would play the weepy sister, begging me to get help before you hurt someone. Uncle Ray, the ex-cop, would have his phone ready to call in a welfare check. Sirens wailing before the pumpkin pie hit the table.
And Ethan?
He'd narrate it all, positioning himself as the savior who'd finally make Jake face reality. They'd film it, post it to the family vlog, Ethan's side hustle, raking in ad dollars from his authentic family recovery bullshit. My humiliation. Monetized. I slammed the laptop shut, the flask tumbling to the carpet stained with God knows what. My hands shook, not from the booze, but from the white-hot fury that had been smoldering since that crash. 20 years of carrying their sins. And this was my reward? A public stoning wrapped in holiday cheer? That's when the idea hit. The gift. Not a fruitcake or a sweater. Something that would make them choke on their own venom. But first, I needed proof. Real proof. The kind that doesn't just sting, it incinerates. I drove through the night, the snow-slicked roads of Michigan blurring into white lines of vengeance. By dawn, I was at the county archives in Wayne, flashing a fake PI badge I'd printed off a dark web template. The clerk, a bored woman with cat-eye glasses, barely glanced up as she handed over the microfiche reels from 2004. Hours later, sweating under the fluorescent hum, I found it, the dashcam footage from a state trooper's cruiser, pulled over seconds after the wreck. Ethan's face, clear as day, behind the wheel, pupils blown wide, laughing like a maniac as the car fishtailed into the barrier. Jackpot. But it wasn't enough. I needed the why, the buried secret that made their betrayal cut so deep. Back in the motel, I cross-referenced it with Ethan's financials. Hacked via a phishing email disguised as a charity donation link, he always was a sucker for optics. Buried in his offshore accounts, laundered cash from the very crew he'd run with as a teen. The accident wasn't random. He'd been fleeing a deal gone south. Coke bricks in the trunk worth $250,000. And who'd cleaned it up?
Me?
Again, dumping the stash in the Detroit River. Swearing to the cops it was joyriding gone wrong. Ethan hadn't just walked.
He'd thrived.
Built a life coaching empire on the myth of his redemption, while I scraped by as a freelance coder, dodging warrants for DUIs I didn't deserve. Ghosts of his sins haunting my credit score and rap sheet. By noon, the plan crystallized. I'd go to Christmas. Play the prodigal son, gift in hand. But the real present? A USB drive. Sleek as a bullet. Loaded with everything, footage, bank trails, emails from his dealers still active today. I'd slip it into the tree's skirt during grace. Let Ethan find it mid-toast. Then watch the dominoes fall, IRS audits, indictments, the whole rotten facade crumbling like gingerbread. But revenge isn't clean,
folks.
As I wrapped the drive in crimson paper, a single bow of black ribbon, doubt wormed in. Was I the hero here? Or just another monster in the family menagerie? Mom's voice from the transcript echoed. We protected him then. Yeah. By letting me rot. Still, my finger hovered over the RSVP button. Send. Or vanish. I hit send. The die was cast. The weeks blurred into a fevered dream of preparation. I shaved. Bought a suit off the rack at Men's Warehouse. Ill-fitting. But it screamed, I've tried. Dyed my hair back to its natural brown, the color Ethan always mocked as mousy. And I rehearsed. Not lines, emotions. The hollow laugh. The averted eyes. The tremor in my voice when Claire hugged me too tight. Missed you. Bro, she'd say. And I'd choke out. Missed you more. But beneath it, the blade sharpened. I reached out to an old contact. Tommy from the Ann Arbor PD's cyber unit. Guy owed me for scrubbing his ex's nudes off the net back in 18. Hypothetically, I said over burner phones, if someone had evidence of old vehicular manslaughter tied to current RICO violations. Tommy whistled low. You'd want it airtight. Feds love a holiday bust, irony points. He hooked me up with a ghost server, bouncing the drop through VPNs in Estonia. When the file hit Ethan's inbox on the 24th, timed to his private server. Not the family one, it wouldn't trace back. Just anonymous Santa in the sender field. Christmas Eve dawned gray and unforgiving. The kind of Michigan morning where the sky presses down like a hangover. I loaded the Volvo rented, plate swapped with my duffel and the gift, the box humming with digital doom. The drive to Ann Arbor was 3 hours of NPR static and half-remembered carols. Bing Crosby crooning about white Christmases while I gripped the wheel white-knuckled. Pulling up to the house. The lights strung like nooses across the eaves. I felt the old pull, the ache of what could have been. Mom in the kitchen, apron dusted with flour. Dad nursing a scotch by the fire, pretending he wasn't pickled. Sisters giggling over eggnog spikes. And Ethan, king of the castle, his Tesla gleaming in the drive like a middle finger to my rust bucket past. I parked, straightened my tie, and stepped into the snow. The door swung open before I knocked. Claire. All blonde waves and Botox smile. Jake. You made it. Her hug was perfume and bone, squeezing the air from my lungs. Yeah, I murmured, forcing the grin. Wouldn't miss it. Inside. The air thick with pine and cinnamon. Lies thicker still. Mom enveloped me next. Her eyes glassy. Tears or gin. My boy. We've been so worried. Dad clapped my shoulder. Grip like a vice. Looking sharp. Son. Sit.
Eat.
Ethan loomed last. Arms crossed. That appraising stare. Good to see you upright.
Jake.
Therapy helping. I met his eyes. Steel on steel. More than you know. Dinner was a minefield of small talk and sidelong glances. Turkey carved with surgical precision. Yams swimming in marshmallows like American excess incarnate. Mia regaled us with tales from her off-Broadway flop. The critics were vicious. But the audience loved the rawness, while Uncle Ray grunted approvals, his badge pinned like a talisman. I played my part, the reformed black sheep, laughing at Dad's jokes about Lions fans, complimenting Mom's pie crust flaky as fresh snow. But under the table, my foot tapped Morse code. Soon. Grace came after dessert. The family circle, hands clasped around the table. Candles flickering shadows on the walls. Ethan led, voice booming. Lord, we thank you for family, for second chances, for the light in our darkness. As heads bowed, I slipped the gift from my pocket, nestling it amid the presents under the tree, visible but innocuous. Red paper glinted like blood in the firelight. Amens rippled. Ethan rose,
Clapping.
All right. Who's first? The ritual began. Claire's perfume set. Mia's script of self-published poetry. Uncle Ray's monogrammed flask. Then mine. To Mom, a locket with a faded photo of us kids at the lake.
Pray Max.
Pre-crash. Tears.
Hugs.
Safe. Ethan's turn. He rummaged. Pulled out the box. What's this?
No tag.
Anonymous, I said, voice casual as like wind. Must be for you. He shook it, rattle of nothing.
Huh.
Bold move. Ripped the paper, revealing the drive. Brows furrowed. USB? Retro. Plug it in. I thought.
See what Santa brought.
He shrugged, pocketed it. Later. Who's next? My heart sank. Not yet. But the night wore on. Eggnog flowing. Carols on the bows. Around midnight, as stragglers nursed hangovers, Ethan vanished to his study. I lingered by the hearth, poking embers, waiting. Then, the scream. Not loud, muffled, like a man drowning in silk. But it cut the house like a shard. Footsteps thundered. Claire burst in. Ethan's freaking out. Something about emails, cops. I followed, pulse thundering. In the study, Ethan hunched over his desktop, face ashen, scrolling frenzy. The screen glowed with attachments, the dashcam clip looping his manic laugh. Bank statements spiderwebbing to shell companies. Text to ghosts from his past. Drop the heat.
E.
Fed circling. What the fuck is this? He roared, spinning to us. Eyes locked on me. You. Denial first. Instinct. Ethan. What? You son of a bitch. He lunged, fists flying. Dad pulled him back. Uncle Ray barked for calm. But the damage bloomed. Mia gasped at the footage. That's. You driving? Mom swayed, clutching her pearls. Jake, did you know? I stood tall, the betrayer unmasked. No, I lived it. For him. For all of you. The room fractured, accusations hurled like ornaments from the tree. Ethan babbled defenses. It was self-defense. The kids swerved.
Lies. All.
Uncle Ray snatched the drive, muttering about evidence chains. Sirens wailed distant. Someone had called it in. As cops swarmed the snow-draped lawn, cuffing Ethan amid twinkling lights, I slipped out the back. The gift delivered. But victory tasted like ash. Was this justice? Or just the cycle spinning anew? Dawn broke over Ann Arbor like a guilty conscience. Pale light seeping through the blinds of my crash pad, a studio apartment above a falafel joint on State Street. Rent paid in cash to avoid paper trails. I'd bolted from the house at 2 a.m. Volvo fishtailing through drifts. Ethan's curses chasing me into the night.
Now.
Slumped on the futon that doubled as bed and confessional. I nursed black coffee bitter as betrayal, replaying the chaos in high-def loops. The cops had hauled him away in the squad car's belly. Blue and whites painting the snow azure strobes. Mom's wail, my boys, both my boys, still rang in my ears. A siren's song of selective memory. Dad's face, carved from oak and old whiskey, had cracked just once, a flicker of recognition. The dead acknowledged too late. Claire and Mia, shell-shocked spectators. Their intervention scripts flipped to tragedy. And me, free. Finally. The rap sheet I'd carried like a millstone lifted, or so I thought. Tommy's Ghost server had scrubbed my juvie record clean last week. A digital baptism. No more warrants. No more shadows. But freedom's a tricky bitch. It whispers questions in the quiet hours. Had I gone too far? Exposing Ethan didn't just topple him. It quaked the family fault lines. Cracks spidering toward all of us. My phone buzzed. Burner. Of course. Tommy. Fedspit. RICO indictment by New Year's. Your bro's toast. 20 plus.
No plea.
A thumbs up emoji. Ironic as hell. I deleted the thread. Heart pounding. Good. Justice. American style. Slow. Grinding. Impartial as a meat grinder. But the hook in my gut twisted deeper. That dashcam footage? I'd watched it 100 times prepping the drop. Ethan's leer as the barrier loomed. The mother scream cut short by crumpling metal. 2 lives snuffed for a baggie of blow and bad decisions. I'd confessed to manslaughter back then. Pled down to reckless endangerment. Served 18 months in a youth lockup where the guards called me Crash Kid, and the nights echoed with sobs.
Ethan? College scholarship.
Courtesy of Dad's lawyer slush fund. Built his brand on overcoming adversity. TEDx talks about the brother who saved me painted as the cautionary tale.
Bastard. Yet.
As the coffee cooled, doubt crept in like fog off the Huron. Was I any better? Hacking? Forging? Unleashing feds on family. The gift wasn't mercy, it was a bomb. Shrapnel for everyone. A knock rattled the door, sharp, insistent. I froze. Hand on the .38 taped under the sink. Jake, it's Claire. Open up.
Shit.
How'd she find me? The Volvo's plates. Maybe. I cracked the door. Chain taut. Her eyes. Red-rimmed. Mascara tracks like war paint. We need to talk. Against better judgment. I let her in. The place reeked of takeout and tension. She perched on the futon edge. Coat clutched like armor. Ethan's lawyered up. Bail hearing tomorrow. But that's not why I'm here. I leaned against the counter, arms crossed. Then enlighten me.
Cease.
Come to gloat? Or stage round 2? She flinched.
God. Jake.
You think we wanted this? The intervention, it was Ethan's idea.
Yeah.
But we were scared. For you. After the motel check. My voice iced over. Claire swallowed. Ethan had Uncle Ray run your plates. Found you holed up. No job. The flask deliveries. Thought you were suicidal. Suicidal. The word landed like a slap. I'd been low. Sure, divorce papers from Lisa still fresh. Her lawyer citing my instability as grounds. But suicidal? That was Ethan's projection. The kid who'd once locked me in the basement during a blackout. Giggling as I pounded for air. We loved you, she pressed. Voice cracking. Always have. Remember the crash? You took the fall. Spare me. I cut her off, pacing the threadbare rug. You knew. All of you. Dad's checks to hush the families. Mom's prayers for guidance. Ethan toasting his second chance at every family barbecue while I dodged parole officers. Her face crumpled. We were kids. Scared shitless. Ethan swore it'd never happen again. And it didn't until now.
Now.
I barked a laugh.
Hollow.
He's been running product since the TED stage. Those motivational retreats? Fronts for meetups with cartel cousins. I found the text.
Claire.
Eagle drops Friday. Keep Crash clear.
Me?
The fall guy. Still in the crosshairs. She paled. Cartel? Jesus. Why didn't you come to us?
Us.
The royal we. The family fortress I'd breached. Because us planned my takedown. The records. The psych hold. You think I wanted to play Judas? Claire stood. Fists balled. This isn't you.
Jake.
The hacking. The setup, it's poison. Ethan's poison. But destroying him? It destroys us all. There it was, the plea. The fracture. Part of me softened. Claire had been my shadow growing up. The one who'd sneak me comics under the dinner table when Dad ranted about manhood. But the other part,
The scarred one. Hardened.
too late for family therapy. Tell Mom I'm done carrying ghosts. She left in tears. Door clicking shut like a guillotine. Alone again. I cracked a beer. First of the day. Last of the bottle. The TV flickered to CNN. Tech guru arrested in holiday drug bust. Family ties to cold case crash. Ethan's mugshot. Handsome even in orange. Splashed nationwide. Comments already roiling. Justice for the victims versus. Innocent until proven. I killed the set. But the debate festered. Was Ethan a monster? Or a man molded by the same mill that ground me down? Dad's absentee rage. Mom's pill-popping piety. Our home a pressure cooker of unspoken sins. By evening, the calls started.
Mom.
Sobbing voicemails. Come home. Baby. We can fix this.
Dad.
Gruff. Man up.
Jake.
Blood's thicker.
Mia.
Scripted. The vlog's blowing up. Help me spin it. Delete. Delete.
Delete.
But Uncle Ray's rang through. A number I couldn't ghost. Station.
Now.
The Ann Arbor PD. Law was a ghost town. Holiday skeleton crew milling under sodium lamps. Ray waited in his cruiser. Engine idling. Face etched like bad news. Get in. We drove in silence. Wipers slapping slush. Finally. You did good.
Kid.
Footage matches the old file, airtight. But Ethan's singing. Blaming you for the crash cover-up. Says you framed him back then. Framed him? The gall. Bullshit. I confessed. On his say-so. Forged sig. He claims. And the drive? Your prints are all over it. My gut dropped. Prints? I'd worn gloves wrapping it. Unless. The motel clerk. The archives cameras? No. Tommy's scrub was thorough. Ray glanced over. He's flipping.
Jake.
Offering you up to save his ass. Manslaughter conspiracy. Evidence tampering. Feds will eat it. The cruiser pulled to the shoulder. Huron's black waters churning beside us. Why tell me? Because I'm family too. And because you're clean mostly. But run now. It's guilt. Stay. We fight.
Fight.
The word hung. Heavy as chains. Run to what? Canada border. A life of aliases and what-ifs. Or face the music.
Testify.
Drag the whole rotten tree into court? I need time, I muttered. Ray nodded.
Grim.
Don't take too much. Bails tomorrow, Hill lawyer shop sharks. Back in the studio. I paced till the walls closed in. The .38 weighed in my palm. Cold comfort.
Suicide? No.
But vanishing.
Tempting.
Pack the duffel. Hot wire a ride south. Disappear into the Smokies like Dad's war stories of deserters. Instead, I booted the laptop. One last hack. Ethan's cloud. Now breached wide. Buried folder. Insurance. Photos. Me at 16. Bloodied knuckles from juvie fights. Emails to Lisa. Twisted into abuse. Even a deep fake video. My face on a body ranting threats. Son of a bitch. He'd been building his out for years, me as the villain. Him the victim. The intervention? Not just humiliation. Leverage. Record me cracking. Use it to flip the script. Poor Ethan. Terrorized by psycho brother. Rage reignited. Pure kerosene. I forwarded it all to Tommy. Add to the pile. And watch my back. Sleep came fitful. Dreams of the crash, metal twisting, screams harmonizing with carols. Woke to Mia's text. Family meeting. Mom's house.
Noon.
Please. Against the scream in my skull. I went. The manse loomed, lights dimmed to morning. Inside. The air stale with yesterday's feast and fresh despair. Mom at the table. Rosary clicking, Dad by the window. Scotch and fist. Claire and Mia flanking. Eyes pleading. No, Ethan's still caged. Jake. Mom breathed. Rising. Thank God. Dad cut in. Sit. We talk this out. The circle closed. Hands offered but not taken. Mia started. Voice actor smooth. Ethan called from holding.
He's
broken. Admits the crash. The lies. Wants to make it right.
right.
I snorted. By pinning it on me? Ray told me. Claire winced. He's desperate. But Mom. She has something. Mom slid an envelope across, yellowed. Postmarked 2004. From the families. The payout. You signed it.
Jake.
As the driver. My hands trembled opening it. Checks cashed. Silence bought. But scrawled note. We know the truth. Blood money won't wash the sin. We paid, Mom whispered. For peace. For you boys to have a life. A life. Theirs. Not mine. And the secret? Buried so deep even God forgot. Dad slammed his glass. Enough. We protected the family. Protected Ethan. I roared. Chair scraping. I did the time.
The shame.
And for what? So he could play saint while slinging death. Mia teared up. We didn't know about the drugs. Not then. Not now. Liar. I tossed my phone on the table. Ethan's text glowing. Read it. Your hero's playbook. Silence swallowed the room. Accusations blooming like bruises. Claire. This ends us. Mia. You're as bad as him. Dad. Blood. Blood's poisoned. I snapped. I'm out. As I stormed the door. Mom's cry. Jake.
Wait.
The gift, it was too much.
No.
It was exact. But driving away, the envelope burning in my pocket, I wondered, who paid the real price? The dead? Or the living? Chained to their ghosts? The bail hearing was a circus. And Arbor Courthouse jammed with reporters sniffing blood in the holiday lull. Ethan Hargrove. The self-help guru. Cuffed and contrite under the vaulted ceilings that smelled of polished wood and desperation. I sat in the back row. Baseball cap low. Blending with the rubberneckers and true crime podcasters, live tweeting the spectacle. Family up front. Mom dabbing Kleenex. Dad stone-faced. Sisters a matched set of poise and panic. Uncle Ray nodded from the bench. His uniform a silent vouch. Ethan shuffled in. Orange jumpsuit clashing with his designer stubble. Lawyer. A shark from Detroit named Voss. All pinstripes and predatory gleam at his elbow. The judge. A no-nonsense woman with silver hair and a gavel like Judgment Day. Scanned the docket. Mr.
Hargrove.
Charges. Vehicular manslaughter cold case reopening. Conspiracy to distribute controlled substances. Money laundering. Bail request. Voss spun gold. Your Honor. My client is a pillar, community leader. Family man. Flight risk? Absurd. These are smears from a disgruntled sibling. He gestured vaguely my way, though I doubt he clocked me. Evidence tampered. Motives personal. Release on own recognizance. Pending investigation. Prosecutor countered. Voice like gravel. Flight risk high, offshore assets. Private jet access. And the victim? A mother and child. Denied justice for 2 decades. Gasps rippled. A reporter's pen scratched furious. Ethan took the stand. Scripted sorrow. I regret my youth's mistakes. But I didn't kill anyone, my brother. He harbored resentments. This evidence. Fabricated. I swept the room. Lingering on family pleading. Performing. Mom whimpered. I gripped the pew. Nails biting palm. Fabricated? The footage was gospel. His face undeniable. Judge's gavel cracked. Bail denied. Remand pending federal transfer. Chaos erupted, flashes popping. Ethan sagging as deputies led him out. Voss stormed the aisle, barking into his phone. Family huddled. A knot of whispers and wails. I slipped out a side door. Pulse hammering. The courthouse steps slick with melt. Outside. Winter sun mocking with its weakness. Claire intercepted me. You came.
Curiosity. I lied.
Lighting a smoke, Marlboros. The American vice. How's the prodigal feeling? She hugged herself against the chill. Gutted.
But.
Relieved? He lied to us all.
Jake.
The retreats. The clean living. It was a front. Relieved. The word chafed.
And me?
Still the villain in your script. Her eyes searched mine.
No.
You're the whistleblower.
But this.
Wave at the scrum of mics. It paints us all ugly. Reporters digging. Dad's old DUIs. Mom's prescriptions. Karma's boomerang. I exhaled smoke skyward. Welcome to my world.
Cease.
20 years early. We walked to my car in brittle silence. Her heels clicking protest. At the Volvo.
She paused.
Come back tonight. For her. Moms. Fading.
Fading.
The euphemism for mom's spells. Vodka and Valium cocktails since the divorce. Worsened post-crush. I'll think. She drove off in her Subaru. Sensible as her betrayals. Alone. I cranked the engine. Radio blasting Springsteen. Darkness on the edge of town. Fitting anthem for a soul-scraping bottom. The afternoon dragged in dive bars and dead-end drives. Nursing IPAs while scrolling X feeds ablaze with Ethan Gate. Threads dissected the family. Golden child exposed. Classic toxic dynasty. Others. Snitch bro had it coming? Crash cover-up screams guilt. Polarized. Predictably American. Heroes and villains. No grays. By dusk. Guilt not enough to turn the wheel homeward. The manse glowed forlorn. Lights half-strung. Mailbox stuffed with subpoenas disguised as junk mail. Mom answered. Frail in her robe. Eyes hollowed.
Jake.
You came. Inside. The tree drooped. Ornaments askew like forgotten dreams. Dad in his recliner. TV muted on Fox News reruns of Ethan's perp walk. Son. No hugs, just the weight of words unsaid. We settled in the den. Fire crackling half-hearted. Eggnog spiked but untouched. Mom spoke first. Voice a whisper. I knew about the drugs. Early on. Ethan came to me. Scared, said if he stopped, they'd kill him.
Knew.
The revelation landed soft. No shock left to muster. And I made him promise. Church. Counseling. Thought it stuck. Tears traced her wrinkles. Foolish mother. Dad grunted. We all did. But you, Jake, taking the wheel that night. Saved his ass. Damned yours.
Saved.
The myth cracked further. Not saved. Buried. You let me rot while he rose. His fist clenched.
Had to.
Family first. Your mother couldn't lose another. Another. The ghost unspoken. My older brother, Tommy Jr., OD'd at 15 on Dad's painkillers. Post-Vietnam stash. The cycle. Spinning vicious. Mia arrived late. Takeout tie-in bags, comfort carbs. Claire trailed. Laptop open to damage control. Vlogs demonetized. Sponsors fleeing. We ate in lulls. Chopsticks clacking like accusations. Conversation veered to the why, the deep betrayal's root.
Dad.
Loosened by Nog. Ethan flipped first. After juvie. He turned informant, fed names to Ray. Bought his clean slate. But the crew? They remembered. Pressured him back in. Claire, he said it was protection money. For us.
Us.
Always the shield. I push my plate. And the intervention? My psych hold. Mom flushed. Ethan's paranoia. Thought you suspected. Wanted to.
Neutralize.
Neutralize. The word chilled. Corporate speak for bury alive. So I was the threat. For digging too close.
Nods.
Reluctant. Mia, he monitored you, apps on your phone. That motel. Feared you'd crack. Crack. Like the windshield that night. Spiderwebbing before the world ended. I rose. Pacing. You all knew pieces. Chose blindness. Dad's voice roughened. And you chose the bomb. Feds at the door, now we're all suspects. Suspects. The symmetry stung. My gift. A Pandora's box spilling indictments. Dad's complicit checks. Mom's alibi calls. Sister's silence as enablers. The fire popped. Embers dying. Mom reached for my hand. Forgive us? Forgiveness, the Christian crutch. American as apple pie. I pulled away.
Not yet.
Maybe never. Night deepened. Family fracturing into separate silences. I crashed in my old room. Posters faded. Beds sagging under ghosts. Sleep evaded. Instead, memories assaulted. The lake house summers pre-crash. Ethan teaching me to skip stones. Claire braiding Mia's hair. Dad grilling burgers with that rare grin. Idol shattered by one bad turn. Dawn's gray filtered through blinds. Phone buzzed. Tommy.
Twist.
Ethan's lawyer subpoenaed you. Manslaughter co-conspirator. Hearing in 48th. Co-conspirator. The flip, Ethan painting me as partner. Not Patsy. The drive's metadata. Fudged to show collusion. Voss's shark circling. Panic surged. Hot and primal. Run? Fight? I dressed quick. Slipped downstairs. Kitchen empty. Coffee pot cold. Note on the fridge. Gone to bail support.
Love. Mom. Love.
The word mocked. I grabbed keys. But Dad's truck rumbled in the drive. Early riser. Or stakeout. He cornered me at the door. Going somewhere? Anywhere but here. Defiant. But cracked. He blocked the frame. Eyes bloodshot. Hear me out. Ethan's playing you, always has. But blood. Blood's why I'm damned. I shoved past. Volvo waiting like escape. Drove blind. Huron bound. Windows down to whip the cobwebs. At a pullout. Waves crashing fury. I chucked the .38 into the drink. Metal splash. Finality. No more props for this drama. Back in the city. Claire's call, he's out. Voss pulled strings. $2 mil bail. Posted by mystery donor.
Out.
Free on technicals. The rich man's dodge. My gift. Diluted. Rage boiled anew. Time for escalation, not digital. Visceral. I hit a payphone. Anonymous tip to Voss's office. Ask your client about the widow's kid. The one he orphaned? Still alive. And talking. The seed planted, the surviving family. The father who'd cashed the check, but nursed the grudge. I'd traced him years back. A trucker in Toledo. Silent sentinel. Ethan's empire wobbled.
But mine?
Crumbling too. As sirens wailed distant, coincidence, I vanished into the crowd. A ghost in my own revenge. Ethan's release hit like a sucker punch from the shadows. The news ticker crawling across my phone screen while I hunkered in a Waffle House off US 23. Grease fumes and fluorescent buzz the only company. Influencer freed on bail amid family feud. Victims can speak out. Accompanying photo. Him striding from the courthouse. Voss at flank. No cuffs but a smirk that screamed unfinished business. Comments exploded. Snakes in suits versus family vendetta. Both guilty AF. I forked into hash browns soggy with ketchup. Appetite soured.
Free.
On what? Technicality? Voss arguing the dashcam chain of custody compromised by my anonymous drop? Or worse, Ethan flipping harder. Trading dirt on Dad's old election bribes for leniency. The mystery donor? Smelled like cartel cleanup. Propping their asset. The waitress. A hearty soul named Barb with a name tag pinned crooked. Refilled my mug. Rough night. Hun, you look like death, warmed over. Family, I grunted. The universal curse. She chuckled. World-weary. Ain't they all? Mine's planning a reunion. God help us. Reunion. The irony bit deep. Mine was scattered. Mom sedated. Dad lawyered. Sisters spinning PR webs.
And me? Target 1.
Subpoena burning a hole in my inbox. I paid cash. Tipped heavy karma points and hit the road south. Toward Toledo. The widow's ex. Harlan, the man who'd buried his wife and son under that blood money envelope. I'd never met him. But his online footprint screamed survivor. Trucker forums ranting corporate greed. A blog post from 15. Justice delayed is justice denied. 20 years for my angels. His rig waited at a Petro stop off I-75. Chrome gleaming under sodiums. Cab idling like a beast at rest. Harlan unfolded from the door. A bear of a man, 6'4". Flannel straining over gut. Beard streaked gray, but eyes sharp as broken glass. You Jake Hargrove? Word travels in vengeance circles.
Yeah.
Coffee. We sat at a Formica table. Steam rising between us, like peace pipes unsmoked. Harlan's hands, calloused from Hull's cross-country, dwarfed his styrofoam cup. Saw the news. Your brother's stink finally aired. Stink's an understatement. I slid a burner phone across, preloaded with Ethan's fresh texts. Cartel codes decrypted by Tommy's algo. Proof he's still in. Deep. He scrolled. Face granite. Bastard. My Sarah. She was singing Silent Night when he plowed through. Little Timmy, 8 years old, clutching his hymnal. The image clawed, red taillights in snow. Carol's cut to crunch. I drove that night. In the confession. Took the hit. Harlan's gaze pierced. Knew that. Your old man paid us off $50K to sign the NDA. Thought it was hush for insurance. But I kept tabs. Waited. The vigilante's vow. American as the Second Amendment. Ethan's out. Gunning for me now, says I framed him. You testify. He leaned back. Chair creaking. Testify? Hell. I'd chain him to the bumper myself. But feds? They bury folks like me under procedure. Not if we push. I tapped the phone. Leak this to the Widows Advocate Group. Force their hand. Harlan's laugh rumbled low. You got stones.
Kid.
After what you carried.
All right.
But quid pro quo, your family's dirt stays buried. No splash on the payout. Deal struck. Midwestern honor. We parted with a nod, no hands, just the pact of the scarred. Driving back, the sun dipping bloody, I felt the tide shift. Ethan free?
Temporary.
Harlan's voice would echo louder than any dashcam. But freedom's illusion shattered at the studio, door ajar. Lock jimmied. Heart slamming. I drew the backup piece from the glove box. A snub-nose .32 that felt like child's play. Inside. Chaos, drawers ransacked. Laptop gone. Futon slashed like gutted prey. Message scrawled on the mirror in my own lipstick, stolen from Lisa's leftovers. Run. Crash kid. Or join the dead. Ethan. Or Voss's muscle. The violation chilled deeper than the draft. I swept the place. Found nothing but echoes, my juvie mug reborn in Polaroid scattered. Me at 16. Eyes haunted. Call Tommy. Breached. Need a scrub. New digs. Yesterday. His reply. On it. But heads up, subpoena served at the house. You're due Friday. Skip. It's contempt. Friday. 3 days to vanish or valiant. I packed what survived. Duffel stuffed with cash from under floorboards. The envelope from Mom. Harlan's phone like a talisman. Drove east. Toward the Rust Belt's anonymity. Holing up in a Super 8 near Flint, water crisis capital. Fitting for poison kin. Room smelled of bleach and despair. Bedspread a floral crime scene. There. I plotted. Not flight.
Counterstrike.
Hacked Voss's firm. Fishing bait as a client intake form. Bingo. Emails between him and Ethan. Frantic. Client insists Hargrove Jr. Coerced confession. Deepfake audio ready. Attached file. My voice. Synthesized. Admitting, I drove to protect the shipment. Deepfake. The modern lie. Slick as sin. Ethan's moxie, turning tech against the nerd brother. I forwarded to Tommy. Weaponize this. Show the judge tampering. While servers churned, family barrage hit, voicemails stacking like indictments. Claire. Where are you? Dad stroke, mild. But. Mia. Press hounding us. Need your side for the doku?
Mom.
Slurred. Come home. Baby. Ethan's sorry.
Sorry.
The word curdled. I called Ray instead. Stroke. Stress, he grunted. But yeah. And Ethan's donor? Traced to a Cayman shell, his investors. Cartels whistling. Whistling. The tune of warning shots. I'm in deep. Uncle. Subpoena. Face it, he cut. Run. You're done. Testify clean. We build a wall.
Wall.
Fortress or prison? I hung up, staring at the envelope's note. Blood money won't wash the sin. Harlan's angels. Unavenged. Night fell. TV droning infomercials. Miracle cures for souls I lacked. Sleep came drugged by Benadryl. Dreams of the crash morphing. Me at wheel. But Ethan beside. Laughing. Push it. Bro, for the rush. Woke sweating. Dawn's pallor mocking. Drove to the hospital. Flint General, no man's land of beeping monitors and bad coffee. Dad in 312. Tube snaking. Face slack, but eyes alert. Mom dozed beside. Rosary limp. Son, he rasped. Voice gravel. Foolish. I pulled a chair. Which part? The gift or the getaway? He coughed.
Weak. All.
But Ethan's worse. Called me from bosses, says he'll burn us all if you don't recant. Recant. The Inquisitor's demand. No. Dad's grip tightened. For tugging. Then end it. For her. Nod to Mom. She loses another. The plea hung.
Paternal poison.
I stood. You made me the strong one, Dad. Time to prove it.
Outside.
Snow flurried. Burying the lot. Phone buzz, Tommy. Deepfake debunked. Metadata screams forgery. Judge reaming Voss tomorrow. Tomorrow. The pendulum swung. But Ethan's threat loomed. The ransack a prelude. I hit a gun shop. Cash for untraceable ammo. Then a burner shop for encrypted line. Called Harlan. Leak dropped? Affirm, he growled. Widows group lit up. Press conference noon. Noon. The clock ticked vengeance. Driving back. Sirens wailed. Not for me. But close. Paranoia peaked. Every shadow Voss's goon. Every tale a fed tale. Studio, no. The Super 8 now, waited empty. But I booby-trapped. Wire across door. Salt in the carpet for prints. Slept shallow. .32 under pillow. Morning brought Mia. Unannounced, knocking frantic.
Jake.
It's me. Disarm the trap. Let her in. She looked wrecked, hair unbrushed. Yoga pants stained. Dad stable. But Ethan. He's coming for you. Coming. The hunt. How'd you find? Tracked your phone. Old habit. She collapsed on the bed.
We need to stop this.
Joint statement. Family healing amid tragedy. Healing. The word galled. Or what? He sends more messages in lipstick. Her eyes widened. You too? He hit my place, stole scripts. Left a noose on the knob.
Noose.
The escalation. Familial noose tightening. Cartel touch. Maybe. Or him. Spiraling. She clutched my arm. We're all pawns.
Jake.
And the game.
Pawns.
But I was the knight now. Leaping dark squares. Too late. Harlan's talking. Feds circling. She paled. Harlan? The father? Jesus. That's nuclear. Nuclear's what he deserves. But doubt flickered. Her fear real. The cycle's victim. We sat in silence. Snow tapping window like fingers. Then, her whisper. Remember the lake? Pre-everything. We were happy.
Happy.
The idol's ghost.
Yeah. Till ett androv med Max.
She flinched.
He was 10.
Scared. Blamed the dog. Excuses. Endless. I stood. Go home.
Mia.
Protect yourself. She left. But the seed planted. Pause the revenge? For the happy ghosts?
No.
Ethan's car pulled up at dusk. Rental Beamer. Voss shotgun. Heart seized, I ducked, watching from blinds. They idled. Scanning. Message clear. We know. They drove off. But the threat lingered. Time to flip the board. Ethan's Beamer vanished into the Flint twilight, taillights winking like a predator's eyes, leaving me coiled in the Super 8's gloom. .3 too slick in my palm. Voss's profile, slick hair. Shark jaw, burned in memory. Ethan's slouch. Defiant even in defeat. They hadn't knocked. Hadn't stormed, just cased. A warning wrapped in reconnaissance. Cartel's subtlety. Or brother's bluff. Either way, the noose itched tighter. I bolted the door. Double-checked the wire trap. Then paced the 12 feet of carpet till adrenaline ebbed to shakes. Mia's visit lingered. Her plea a siren in the storm. End the game. But games don't end. They mutate. Players swapping masks till no one's sure who's villain.
Me?
Avenger or arsonist. Torching the barn to kill the rats. Family be damned. Phone buzzed. Harlan. Presser gold. CNN picked it. Cold case father blasts guru's lies. Ethan's camp scrambling. Scrambling.
Good.
I texted Tommy. Eyes on Voss, tail if you can. His reply. Done. And subpoena? Judge tossed it, tampering evidence. You're clear, kid.
Clear.
The word dangled. Too pretty for this muck. I cracked a window. Snow scent sharp. And lit one last Marlboro, final vice before the purge. Smoke curled. Ghosts in the glass. Lisa's laugh. Pre-divorce, Ethan's grin. Pre-crash, Mom's lullabies. Pre-pills.
Purge. Yeah.
No more running. I grabbed the duffel. Checked out under alias, Bill Smith. Toledo, and hit I-75 north. Toward the cabin Dad kept off the grid near Tawas Bay. Fishing retreat, he called it. Bootleggers' hideout more like. Stocked with canned beans and bourbon. No cell but a ham radio for emergencies. The drive wound through pine dark. Moon mocking with its sickle smile. Arrived midnight. Crunching gravel under tires. Cabin hunkered like a squat beast. Key under the mat, trust in isolation. Inside. Musty with disuse. I built a fire from damp logs. Flames licking shadows off the walls paneled in knotty pine.
American rustic rot.
Slept on the cot. Dreams fractured. The crash replayed. But now Harlan's face in the passenger seat. Mouthing push it. Woke to loons crying. Dawn's gold slicing shutters. Coffee perked on the propane stove. Black as resolve. Plan coalesced. Wait out the heat. Let feds feast on Ethan's carcass. Harlan's presser was bait. Now hook him. But isolation bred introspection. The cabin's silence a confessional. I rifled Dad's old tackle box. Lures rusted. Lines tangled. And found buried treasure. A cassette tape.
La Belle Hat Nam 69.
Tommy Jr.'s namesake?
No.
Dad's war stories. Voice recorded for posterity, he never shared. Popped it in the ancient player. Static hissing prelude. Dad's voice. Young and ragged. Jungle stinks of rot and fear. Lost Mikey today, booby trap. Shoulda watched closer. Blood on my hands. Forever.
Blood.
The echo chilled. Dad's PTSD. The absentee rage masking guilt. The pills he'd popped. The rage he'd vented on us kids. Ethan's first high. My first scar from a thrown bottle. Cycle's cradle. Tape word on. Home soon. For the boys. Make it right. Irony. Bitter as the brew. Phone no signal. But the ham crackled to life with a crank. Weather reports. Trucker chatter. Tuned to raise frequency. Our code from teen years. When I'd cover Ethan's curfews.
Static.
Then, crash? You there? Copy. I keyed. Storm incoming. Brothers whipping winds. Voss filing countersuit. Defamation. Stay low.
Low.
Cabin life suited. Chopped wood. Lake swims in icy black. Evenings with Dad's dog-eared Tom Clancy. Fantasies of clean kills. But by day 3, cabin fever clawed, doubt's talons. Was this victory? Or exile? Ethan's fall laundered my sins. But the family's fracture? Irreparable. Shards embedding deep. Supply run to Oscoda broke the spell. Pick up from the shed. Rattling down dirt roads to the Piggly Wiggly. Stocked on jerky. Beans. A 6 of Labatt's, Michigan's blue-collar bomb. Checkout line. Tabloid rack screamed. Guru's brother, hero or hoax. Exclusive family secrets. Hoax. The word stung. Flipped it. Byline Mia. As told to. My sister's byline. Spinning our saga for clicks. Me as the tortured soul. Ethan the fallen angel. Vague on the crash truth. Rage flared. Checkout forgotten. Drove to a payphone outside the diner. Called her collect. What the fuck?
Mia.
Jake. Relief laced fear. Where? Save it. The article? Our healing? Silence. Then, survival. Vlog tanked, bills piling. It's anonymized. Not enough. I slammed the receiver. But her voice trailed. Wait. Ethan's vanished. Post bail. Voss says skip town. Vanished. The flip, prey to predator. Cartel calling collect? Hung up. Heart hammering. Back at cabin. I booby-trapped heavier, tripwires with cans, shotgun shells in the door jamb. Nights. .32 close. Ears tuned to twig snaps. Day 5. Storm hit. Nor'easter off the bay. Winds howling banshee. Waves battering shore like accusations. Power flickered out. Fire my only light. Ham's silent. Isolation absolute. In the glow, I pen letters, unsent. Therapy for the damned. To Mom. Forgive? Maybe. But forget? Never. To Dad. Your war made monsters. Mine's self-made. To Ethan. The gift was mercy. Run far. Storm broke dawn 4. Skies bruised but clear. Lake lapped calm. Mocking.
I swam.
Water shocking lungs. Emerging reborn, or resigned. Dressed.
Packed.
Headed south. Time to surface. Ann Arbor waited. A minefield of memory. Dropped at the manse first door cracked. Inviting doom. Inside. Dust motes danced. Tree needles shedding like tears. Mom in the kitchen. Thinner. Stirring soup with mechanical grace.
Jake.
Embrace tentative. Bones brittle. Heard about Dad? Discharged. Stubborn. Her eyes searched. Ethan called. From Mexico.
Says.
Begging money. Mexico.
Cartel haven.
Don't. She nodded.
Weary.
Won't.
But you.
The article? Mia's desperation. Not mine. I help with bowls.
Domestique détente.
Over soup clam chowder. Canned but comforting, she confessed. I flushed the pills. For you boys. Too late. Never too late. Or always. Start now. Dad home by noon. Gaunt in his armchair. Storm pass. More coming. We talked. Halting, more ghosts. Crash echoes.
No apologies.
But understanding. Fragile as frost. Afternoon brought Claire. Laptop in tow. Damage control. Joint interview.
No.
Firm. But Harlan. Devastating.
She sank.
Feds raided Ethan's office yesterday. Servers seized. You're subpoenaed again. As witness. Witness. The crown. Heavy.
Fine.
Truth serum time. Evening. Family dinner, takeout pizza. Cheese strings like fragile bonds. Laughter flickered. Tentative. Mia's bad jokes. Dad's grunts. But undercurrent pulled. Ethan's shadow. Lengthening. Night. I crashed at the house. Old room. Bed creaking welcome. Phone charged. Buzzed, Tommy. Voss disbarred probe. Your deepfake tip hit.
And Ethan?
Cited in Cancun. Extradition wheels turning.
Wheels.
Justice grinding slow. But my phone dinged again unknown. Miss me? Bro? Gift returned soon.
Returned.
The threat. Digital venom. Attached. Photo of my cabin. Fresh tire tracks in mud. He'd followed. The game. Reignited. Sleep evaded. .32 loaded.
Dawn.
I rose. Resolved confront. Not cower. Called Harlan. Need backup. Toledo meet. Affirm. Bring the fire. Fire. The pyre we'd build together. Driving south. Family fading in rear view. I gripped wheel, not fleeing.
Charging.
Ethan's flip complete. Victim to Viper. But Vipers die under boots. Toledo loomed. Harlan's rig beacon. We planned over diner slop. Tip Interpol your cords. Let feds flush him.
Flush.
The hunt.
Shared.
But as we parted, Harlan's grip. Watch your kin.
Jake.
Blood betrays. Betray. The axiom.
Etched.
Back north. Storm clouds gathered. Literal. Lethal. The Interpol tip was a grenade with a short fuse. Tommy routed it through a Dutch proxy. Anonymous as a confessor's whisper. Pinging Ethan's Cancun bolt hole with surgical precision, coordinates from his burner GPS, cross-referenced with Voss's leaked flight logs. They'll move fast, Tommy texted. Touristy spot. Optics bad for cartels. Fast meant 48 hours. I had 24 to position. Drove through pouring rain. Wipers slapping rhythm like a countdown. Back to Ann Arbor for armor, not bullets. But alibis. Family manse first. Dawn's drear soaking the porch. Claire answered. Robe clutched. Eyes puffy. Again? Jake. Need your car. Blunt. Subaru. Keys. She tossed them. Wary. Where?
South.
End this.
Pause.
Tell Mom I'm sorry. For the bomb. Her nod. Conflicted. Be safe. Ethan's. Unhinged. Unhinged. Understatement for the brother who'd once wired my bike brakes loose for a prank. Laughing as I tumbled into gravel. I swapped plates on the Volvo, Subaru now my ghost ride, and hit a storage unit on the city's edge. Dad's forgotten cash, bolt cutters, zip ties, a flare gun from his boating days.
Tools for the reckoning.
By noon, I was airborne, Greyhound to Detroit Metro. Then a red-eye puddle jumper to Mexico City. Cash for the ticket. Alias passport from Tommy's dark web wizardry. Rick Tanner, it read. A nobody salesman with a goatee glued hasty. Cancun waited. 18 hours of turbulence and regret. In-flight movie a rom-com irony twisting the knife. Landed humid. Taxi to the Riviera Maya Strip. Tourist trap neon clashing with jungle dark. Ethan's hideout, a gated villa off the beaten path. Rented under a shell named Soul Recovery LLC, his brand's corpse twitching. I scoped from a beach bar.
My ties sweating like me.
Binoculars borrowed from a sunburned retiree for a Benjamin. There, Ethan.
Poolside.
Voss nursing a laptop under pull-up a shade. No cartel muscle visible, yet, but the man's paranoia showed in the twitchy glances. The burner clutched like rosary. Golden tan couldn't mask the haggard. Bale had carved him hollow. Night fell tropical. Stars pricking like accusations. I slipped the gate, wire snips whispering, crouching in hibiscus thicket. Close enough to smell his cologne. Overripe as lies. Voss paced. Phone to ear. Clients contained. Extraction tomorrow. Gulfstream. Nassau hop. Extraction. Cartel's cavalry. Ethan laughed. Hollow. Think Jake shaking? That gift, my life's work. Poof. Voss. Focus. Feds freeze assets Monday. We flip the narrative, him as the trafficker. You the coerced.
Coerced.
The flip. Eternal. I edged closer. Flare gun heavy in pocket distraction.
Not death.
But Ethan froze. Head cocking like a hound. You smell that?
Pine.
Michigan bullshit. Paranoia or sixth sense. He scanned shadows. I held breath.
Fuss, jet lag. Drink.
Distraction landed. Bar's mariachi band erupted. Trumpets blaring Feliz Navidad. I fired the flare, red comet arcing over villa. Sizzling into pool with a hiss and steam bloom. A chaos. Ethan yelped. Diving. Voss cursed. Laptop splashing. I bolted through brush. Heart thunder. Subaru waiting blocks away. Sirens baile distant. Tourist panic drawing federales. Back at the Fleabag Motel. Sweat-soaked. I keyed the ham radio Tommy'd smuggled. Flare dropped. Birds incoming. His crackle. Copy. Interpol chopper ETA 0600. Stay frosty. Frosty. In this sauna, I cracked a Corona from the mini-fridge. Lime wedge sour as doubt. The flare, childish. Or cathartic. No kill. But the hunt flushed. Yet, as ceiling fan word dirge, Harlan's warning echoed. Blood betrays. Dawn broke muggy. Chopper thrum vibrating windows. I watched from balcony, Black Hawk silhouette. Federals rappelling to villa. Ethan cuffed on knees. Voss zip-tied beside. Cartel ghosts scattering like roaches. Extradition express. Straight to Virginia lockup. Satisfaction bloomed. Fleeting as the tropic sun. But phone buzzed, Claire. Dad collapsed again. Heart. Come home. Home. The pull. Inexorable. Flew back red-eye. Cancun to Detroit in a blur of peanuts and nausea. Landed noon. Subaru reclaimed. Race to you of M Hospital and Arbor's White Tower. Beeps and bleach symphony. Dad in ICU. Monitors marching steady, but frail. Tubes a mechanical halo. Mom vigil bound. Claire and Mia flanking like sentinels. Jake. Mom breathed. Rising. You look. Wrecked. War's end, I muttered, gripping Dad's hand cold, but pulse there. Ethan's done. Caught at dawn. Gasps rippled. Claire. Mexico?
How?
Doesn't matter. Exhaustion hit. Wave crashing. He's facing it all. Mia teared. The press. They're calling it Hargrove Reckoning. Heroes and villains. Villains. Plural. Dad stirred. Eyes fluttering.
Son.
Enough. Enough. The word. Paternal plea. We huddled. Family not reforming tentative. Stories swapped. Sins aired soft. Mom. I knew about Tommy's tape. Hid it shame. Claire. The intervention? My push. Thought it'd save you both. Mia. The article, regret. But it trended. Donations for victims. Donations. The pivot. From poison to penance. I nodded.
Drained.
Start there. Hours blurred to evening. Dad stabilizing. Transferred to step down. Cafeteria vigil. Vending machine slop. Coffee sludge. Talk turned to the why, the betrayal's marrow.
Dad.
Propped on pillows later. I failed you boys. War broke me. Crash repeated it. Repetition. The cycle confessed. Break it. Then. Night. I drove to the lake house, not the cabin. The family one. Pre-max idle. Snow melted to mud. Dock creaking underweight. Stood at edge. Envelope from Mom in hand, the payout note.
Sin un wasable.
Tore it. Shreds fluttering to water, like confetti absolution. Phone silent, no threats. Just Tommy. Extradition sealed. Rico sticks, life without. Likely. Life. Ethan's.
Caged. Mina?
Uncertain. Back at hospital. Sleep claimed in vinyl chair. Dreams of flares lighting paths. Not pyres. Week spun. Dad homebound. Therapy for all. Family sessions in a beige office off Main Street.
DR.
Ellis a neutral arbiter with glasses and gentle probes. Betrayal's a scar, she said. But scars flex. Flexed we did, Claire admitting the record's ploy. Mia the vlog complicity. Mom the cover-up checks. Dad. I enabled Ethan's flips, saw my weakness in him. Me. The gift was rage. But necessary? Necessary. The debate. Internal. Sessions unearth more. Ethan's first flip at 12. Ratting neighborhood kids for candy, mine. Covering to belong. Antagonist born. Not made, but nurtured in our neglect. By week's end. Subpoena dropped. Witness. Not suspect. Testified clean. Crash truth. No embellish. Courtroom sterile. Ethan across aisle. Eyes hollowed. No smirk left. Harlan beside. Testimony thunder. He took my world. Now take his. Verdict loomed, months off. But the air shifted, justices tied. Outside. Reporters swarmed. I stonewalled. Family healing. Healing. The word grew roots. But twist brewed. Mia's call. Post-session. Package at the house.
For you.
Package. Dread coiled. Drove wary. Manse porch light haloed. Box plain.
No sender, postmarquet Nassau.
Inside, USB drive. Black as original sin. Label, real gift. Plugged in laptop. Heart stutter. Video file, Ethan. Grainy cell cam. Speaking direct. Jake. You won. But watch this. Played. Not dashcam. But home movie, 2004. Lake House. Me at 16. Forging the confession. Ethan's hand guiding mine. Do it.
Bro.
For us. Then. Cut. Present day him. Tears streaking. I made you.
The monster?
We both are. Forgive or finish. Finish. The choice. Final flip. I stared. Screen frozen on our young faces. Blood brothers in crime.
Delete.
Or deliver to feds.
The bomb.
Reloaded. The video looped in my skull like a bad acid trip. Ethan's boyish whisper, for us, syncing with the adult plea. Tears carving canyons in his mugshot pallor. Nassau postmark screamed cartel courier. A final fuck you wrapped in faux remorse. Finish? The word tempted. Serpent sweet. Leak it. Paint him puppeteer. Me marionette. Co-conspirator upgraded to kingpin enabler. Or forgive. Delete. Let the Rico swallow him whole. Family myth intact. I drove the back roads to Tawas cabin, Subaru hugging curves. Range sheeting like judgment, needing isolation's scalpel to dissect the rot. Cabin waited. Fire laid from last visit. But I paced cold.
Laptop glowing aku sa atin.
Paused the frame. 16-year-old me. Pen trembling over the lie. Ethan's arms slung casual. Owning the script. For us. The pact that damned us both. I'd always seen myself the martyr. But here, willing pawn. Eyes wide in the forgery's gleam. Monster duo. Birthed in that basement where Dad's rages echoed. Mom's denial a lullaby. Dawn crept. Gray as guilt. Brewed coffee strong. Laced with the last of Dad's bourbon. Firewater for fire souls. Called Tommy on satellite link. Voice crackling over static. Another drive? Send it encrypted.
Too hot. I hedged.
Personal. His pause. Paternal. Don't do dumb.
Jake.
Feds close the loop without your drama.
Drama.
My life's genre. Hung up. Stared at the file. Decision crystallized. Copy to cloud. Tommy's vault. Timed release if I ghosted, then confront. Not court.
Flesh.
Ethan in Virginia. Pre-trial hold. Visit. Face the mirror. Prep was penance. Shaved the goatee. Don the suit from Christmas. Rumpled but resolute. Flew Dulles. Rental Impala to Lorton Complex. Federal gray monolith squatting on Potomac banks. Visitor lines snaked. Reprobates and relatives in quiet war. Cleared security, pat down thorough. Eyes scanning for contraband souls. Ethan shuffled in. Jumpsuit baggy on his frame. Shackles clinking like bad karma. Partition glass fogged with breath. Phone handset cold in palm. Bro. His smile. Crooked, half charm. Half crack. Took the bait.
Bait.
The video. His hook. Nassau drop. Sloppy. Desperation. Shrug.
Chains rattling.
Voss cut loose. Cartel's ghosts. Thought it'd sway you, show the bond.
Bond.
The word curdled.
Bond?
You forged it. Then snapped. His eyes. Blue mirrors of mine.
Hardened.
We both signed. You drove the lie as much as me. That footage? Mutual alibi. Liar's pivot. I confessed. Served. For glory? Martyr crown. Lean in. Glass beating. Dad's nod. Mom's tears, you lapped it. Golden child was you.
Till I flipperade te.
Flipped. The truth's barb. I'd crave the role, strong son. Fixer, while Ethan played wild card. Dodging fallout. Cycles dance. Steps learned young. Why now? I pressed. Voice steel. Rico's noose, why drag me? Fear. Simple. Shattering. Alone in this? Terrifying.
But you.
You're free. Gift back. Our sin. Shared. Shared. The offer. Olive branch or cyanide. Feds get it? You're both sunk.
His laugh. Hollow.
Sunk already. Plea brewing, 30 years. Testify against the ghosts. Maybe less.
But you? Walk.
Unless. Dread pooled. You join the flip. Say I coerced deepfakes.
Threats.
Voss's playbook. Yours now. Temptation slithered. Frame him fuller.
Weichkliner.
But the video whispered no. We co-wrote the script. I hung up. Abrupt.
Rot. Outside.
Potomac churned muddy. Spring thaw raging. Drove aimless. D.C. monuments looming judgmental, Lincoln stern. Jefferson wry. Stopped at the mall. Tourists oblivious. I sat on grass wet. Replaying the visit. Forgive? The Christian trap. Mom's rosary rattle. Or finish. Become the flipper? Phone Claire. Harlan's dying. Liver, booze chase. Wants you.
Dying.
The hook yanked. Drove night through. Impala eating miles to Toledo hospice, sterile ward of beeps and regret. Harlan propped in bed. Oxygen mask fogging. Eyes still sharp. Kid. Voice wheeze. Heard you bag the snake. Snared. Not killed. Sat bedside. His hand gnarled oaken mine.
Good.
Killing's easy. Living's the bitch. Cough racked. Sarah's say forgive.
Timmy? Nah. But you.
Choose. Choose. The echo. Video. Him and me. Forging the crash lie. Together. Harlan's grip tightened. Then own it. Court. Confessional, ere the rot. For my angels. Angels. Their faces. Imagined choir robes. Smiles snuffed. Nodded. Throat tight. I will. He passed midnight. Monitors flatlining to elegy. I stayed till dawn. Signing papers as friend, then drove home ghosts heavy. And Arbor welcomed cruel. Family manse lit for war council.
Mom.
Dad frail in kitchen. Ethan's plea, tomorrow. Wants you there.
There.
The arena. I went. Suit pressed. Harlan's words talisman. Courtroom packed. Fed stern. Reporters vulturine. Family pew splintered, us versus. The void. Ethan at bar. Voss replaced by public defender. Sweaty. Plea. Guilty to all, manslaughter. Conspiracy. Laundering. Coercion, he claimed. Eyes on me. Family pressure. Pressure. The flip final. Me the villain architect. Murmurs rose. Judges gavel silenced. Your turn, Mr. Hargrove, bailiff to me. Witness stand. Oath sworn. Truth's noose. Testified raw. Crash night. The wheel. The lie. Ethan's hand on mine. We both drove it. Shared sin. Gasps. Ethan's glare ice. Feds probed. Motive for cover? Family. Blood.
Paused.
But blood lies. Court adjourned. Verdict pending sentence. Life. With the video exhibit A. Co-guilt etched.
Outside.
Press mobbed. Revenge or redemption? Redemption. The words stuck. Bitter pill.
Home.
Family waited, dinner subdued. Steak charred. Wine flowing loose. Talk turned twist. Ethan's letter. Smuggled via guard. You chose truth. Respect. But the real gift? Inside. Inside. Photo. Old Lake House. Us kids postmax. Arms linked. Caption. Bonds break. But scars match.
Scars.
The map we shared. Burned it in sync. Flames dancing brief. Weeks blurred. Therapy deepened. Dad's rehab walks like paths. Mom's garden revived. Sisters mended. Claire's apology bake-off. Mia's victim fun launch. I coded freelance. Clean apps for trauma support. Ironic therapy. But the debate festered. X threads raging. Bro betrayed bro. Justice or jealousy? Split sides. As promised, no saints. All sinners. Sentence day loomed. Ethan to Supermax. Life boxed. I debated attending. Final confrontation? Or closure's cut?
Chose yes.
Virginia Drive. Potomac Gray. Shackles clinked. His eyes met mine. No hate left, just hollow. Truth hurt. Cleaned. Simple. Guard led him. I turned.
Free.
Twist waited in mail. Harlan's will. Bequest. Sarah's locket. Timmy's hymnal. To the man who avenged without hate. Avenged. The words settled. Uneasy crown. Back home. Christmas neared. Irony's encore. Tree up. Lights strung tentative. Gift exchange, no bombs. Just books.
Bonds.
But mine to family, the video, digitized. Shared drive.
Watch.
Then delete. Together. They did. Tears communal. Mom, our sin. Dad, break the cycle. Cycle broken? Or bent? As carols played. Snow fell soft. I wondered. Happy end. Or by tragic pause. The debate. Eternal. Christmas Eve redux. But stripped bare, no twinkling excess. Just the manse's hearth fire crackling honest. Pine scent mingling with pot roast humble. Family gathered sparse. Mom at table. Rosary pocketed for once. Dad in wingback. Scotch swapped for seltzer. Claire nursing cocoa. Mia fiddling ornaments like scripts unfinished. Ethan absent. His chair a ghost. Empty plate set symbolic. Or masochistic. We'd watch the video pre-dinner. Laptop on coffee table. Faces lit blue in confession's glow. Silence followed. Heavy as the lies unearthed. My hand on pen. Ethan's guiding. 16-year-old pact sealing fates. No accusations flew, just nods. The collective exhale of burdens shared. Delete. Claire prompted. Finger hovering. Dad's voice. Steady new. First. Toast. Glasses raised. Juice for all. The children's choice ironic. To truths, he said. Late. But loud. Clinks echoed. Fragile harmony. Mom teared, and forgiveness. For all.
All.
Inclusive grace. American reinvention. I sipped. Tart on tongue. Forgiveness? The video's ashen digital urn. Deleted communal, but scars? Etched permanent. Maps to navigate anew. Dinner flowed tentative, stories swapped. Sins recast as lessons. Claire. The intervention? My control freak phase. Therapies unpacking it. Mia. Vlogs pivoted. Real recovery. Victim spotlights. Your crash story. Anonymized. Inspired. Inspired. From poison. Potion. Dad regaled Harlan tales, trucker yarns I'd missed. The man's quiet fury a mirror to our storm. Mom confessed deeper. After Tommy's OD. I numbed. Let Ethan run wild. You carry weight.
Weight.
Lifted incremental. Laughter crept in, Mia mimicking reporter zeal. Claire's pie mishap charades. I contributed sparse. The Avenger muted. But warmth thawed the frost in my chest. Post-meal. Tree ritual. Gifts modest. Heart-wrapped. Mom's to me. Locket from Harlan. Sarah's, tiny. Engraved silent night. Inside. Faded photo. Her and Timmy. Choir smiles radiant. Note slipped. Sing for us? Jake.
Sing.
The charge. Harlan's echo. I clasped it. Throat tight. My returns. Journals for sisters. Write your truths. AA chip for dad. 24 hours etched. To mom. Planted rosebush. Roots for new. Last. The gift redux. Not USB. But letter. To Ethan's cell. Copied for us.
Brother.
Scars match.
Heal yours.
I'll guard the gate.
Gate.
To freedom's maybe. Parole's distant dream. Mailed dawn. Carrier's mercy. Midnight mass beckoned. St. Thomas. And Arbor's steeple sentinel. We bundled. Drive silent, but companionable. Snow blanketing sin soft. Church aglow. Candles flickering faithful. Pews packed with stragglers seeking solace. Hymn swelled. Oh, come all ye faithful. Voices blending cracked but true. Kneeling. I clutched the locket. Harlan's angels harmonizing in memory. Prayer unspoken. Not for pardon. But purpose. Avenge no more. Live amended. Service ended. Peace exchanged. Strangers' handshakes warm. Absolution proxy. Outside. Snow swirled confetti. Carols car-horned distant. Homeward. Radio soft. Springsteen crooning Thunder Road. Escape's anthem repurposed homecoming. Boxing Day dawned crisp. Family lingering lazy. Board games. Monopoly ironic with its get-out-of-jail cards. Laughter genuine now. Edges softened. But, mid-morning. Twist cracked the idol. Call from Ray. Voice grave. Ethan's plea. Judge through a curve. Video co-guilt? Mitigating. Sentence. 25. Parole eligible 15. Not life. Mercy's bargain. Or system sly. Feds grumbled. But Harlan's kin nodded. Time served for the dead. Debate ignited family chat. Claire. Too soft. Victims howl. Mia. Rehab chance. Redemption arc. Dad. Blood thins the scales. Mom. Pray he changes.
Me.
Silent storm. 15 years. Ethan mid-50s. Grayed but gated free. The gift. Half delivered. Fall total. But rise possible. Controversial close. Splitting souls. Justice halved. Or halved hell. Afternoon. I drove solo to the lake, winter's edge iced fragile. Wind whipping whitecaps. Stood dock's end. Locket open. Hymnal pages flipped by gust. Timmy's scribbles. Mommy's song best.
Best.
The legacy. Tossed no ashes, kept them. Internal urn. Vowed aloud. Avenge no more. Amend. Back. Family waited. Dinner debate dissolved to consensus. Watch him. But live ours.
Live.
The directive. Simple salvation. Weeks waned to spring. Therapy tapering. Lives rebooting. Dad's veteran group. Mom's garden guild. Sister's ventures viable.
Me?
Coded a app, scar map, tracking trauma trails. Anonymous shares. Users trickled. Crash survivors. Betrayal bearers. Harlan's funds swelled. Angels funded. Ethan's letters came sporadic, penitentiary stationery. Script humbled. Therapy bites. But truths? Freeing. Ignored first. Then replied sparse. Amend. Summer bloomed. Lake house reunion. No ghosts invited.
Just us 5.
Rebuilt. Barbecue smoked. Beers cracked. Stories looped light. Mia's toast. To flips not fatal.
Flips.
The motif. Mastered. Laughter roared. Genuine gale. Fall's cusp. Twist terminal. Parole board whisper. Ethan early out. Good behavior. Rage flickered. Doused quick. Family vote. Welcome. Wary. Wary one. He arrived autumn. Cab from gate. Duffel lean. Man's porch. We waited, arms crossed, but open. Ethan stepped out.
Gaunt.
Gray at temples. Eyes downcast. Family. Mom hugged first. Tears salt. Dad clapped shoulder. Gruff. Earn it. Sister's wary waves, I last. Locket glinting. Scars match. Prove. He nodded. Broken but bending. Dinner tense. Talk tiptoed, no crash deep dives. Just weather.
Work.
Night. Guest room assigned. Dawn. He rose early. Coffee perked communal. Months tested. Ethan job hunting, speaker gigs nixed. But counseling certs pursued. Slips came bar cravings. Blame flickers but checked. Therapy tether. Holiday neared again, second Christmas. Scars scabbed. Tree trimmed collective. Lights looped laughter. Gift circle. Ethan's to me. Forged pen replica. Engraved truth's weight. Mine to him. Hymnal photocopy. Sing amended. Exchange ended embrace. Circle closed. As carols swelled, snow fell forgiving. I pondered the end. Happy? By tragic truce. Debates dormant but dormant. No heroes. No villains, just humans. Flipping toward light. The gift? Unforgettable. Indeed delivered. Digested. Defining. Fade to family. Fractured no more. Or bent. Resilient. You decide.